Hello there. I'm Matthew Doss. I'm your child's um, design and modeling and automation robotics teacher. This is I'm the one of the STEAM teachers at West Lane. I also teach a sixth grade course called Exploring Innovations. But I To give you a little bit of information about me, since I'll be spending time with your student a few times a week. Is This is my seventh year teaching at West Lane. I taught my first 5 years here as a seventh grade science teacher, and now this is my second year as one of the STEAM teachers. I've taught 9 years overall. My first two were at Lyndhurst 7th and 8th grade center, which is in Wayne Township. I'm the head coach of robotics as well as head coach of track. I graduated from North Central back in 2008, and I have a wife and two kids. My son is in sixth grade, and my daughter is 9 months old. Anyways, as far as the curriculum, the way this class is set up, most of the kids will be in this class for the entire year. They'll get the design modeling curriculum first semester, and then the automation and robotics curriculum the second semester. And so in the design modeling curriculum, the students learn the design process, which is basically like the scientific method for engineers, where they learn basically the steps they have to follow to create designs that solve a real world problem. And then they learn about various kinds of measurement and measuring tools. They learn various types of design sketches as well as dimensioning with those sketches. And then we end it with some CAD software practice where they learn how to make 3D models on the software itself. And then when we go into second semester, and hopefully we'll be back to in-person learning. If not, we'll make the most of it. But the second semester, they learn it's more specialized, like mechanical engineering as opposed to generic engineering. And so they learn things like gears and gear ratios. They learn about various types of mechanisms, their input motion, output motion, as well as a mechanical system. They then learn also how to program and the automation aspect of robotics, where they'll build different mechanical systems and then write the specific code for that mechanical system to perform a specific task. And so this is a challenging curriculum, and it's a challenging where I tell curriculum in the sense that I tell students that they need to be comfortable with their failures, comfortable with failing. That's one of the keys, because they are going to fail at some point. They're going to do something and it's not going to work, and they're going to have to kind of work backwards, and that is okay. But learning that skill is an important one to be able to persevere and become more resilient towards it. So another thing we do in class is we read various chapters from this book called Habitudes. And we do that kind of when we're in between projects. There's an entirely project-based class, but when we end a project, I'd like to spend a day or two teaching them these various habitudes from this leadership book, because it's a leadership book that teaches you the leadership habits and attitudes, hence the title Habitudes. But these are skills that don't only apply to adults, but they can apply to really any age, because they can utilize these in whatever stage of life they're in to get through social emotional things, academic things, intellectual things. So I find significant value in that, and I tell the kids, because this class is so challenging, they need to learn some of these, and in the sense that it teaches them some resilience and appropriate ways of dealing with failure, things like that. And so I also use it as an opportunity to do some literacy practice, because, as you know, engineering is a lot of math, but we don't talk about a lot of literacy. And so I try and give them that opportunity to incorporate literacy into the curriculum and practice our literacy skills that we learn at West Lane, one of them being MUT. And I'm pretty strict about how I teach MUT to them. MUT, for those who don't know, stands for marking up the text. Students learn that in sixth grade and apply it throughout 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And so it basically, as we read it, they're required to annotate it. They have to come up with questions because good readers ask questions. They have to come up with comments and connections because good readers make connections while they read. Good readers identify important information, key terms, words they don't know. So all of these things I require them to annotate to really drive home that literacy strategy that we preach here at Wesleyan. So, and I just think it's a fun way to do that. But a typical day for your kiddo, it starts with daily news, where the kids read through the daily news. It kind of gives a preview of what to expect for the day. And then they work on their DET, which is their daily engineering task, which is like their do now, their bell work, and they do that. And they are allowed to use their notes. It's timed, but they're allowed to go through their notes to get the answers because it's always just review of the previous day's stuff. And so kids should be getting perfect scores on these, as it's primarily information that's very accessible to them as long as they utilize their resources. We do go over afterwards, but after they've had to submit it. Then we do a short little mini lesson or of some sort of like engineering concept, or I give some quick directions if we're in the middle of the project. And so then the majority of the class is project facilitation, which is what I love, because unlike traditional classrooms where students learn, and then at the end of a unit, they do a project that shows, they have to use to show what they learned. Okay, these projects are done throughout, and that is how they learn, is by doing the projects. They're making connections. I teach a concept and they apply the concept that same day into the project. And so I think this is just a better way of learning, but I'm a little biased in that regard. And then at the end, I bring everyone back together so that we can tie things together, so that kids can kind of realize, okay, what are the big takeaways I need to take from today's classroom or today's lesson. So that's that. And then as far as what your child needs, they need their engineering notebook, which just got delivered to school this past week. So we're gonna find a way to get that to you guys because it's easier to keep everything in one place. There's also kids need their pencils, and if craft supplies, I encourage them to keep craft supplies or like cardboard boxes or bubble wrap, things like that. If they get them through some sort of order that they've got, keep it. We'll probably use it, but at the same time, if you don't have it, we're making it work from home, since we're all with this distant learning thing. And then lastly, they need to be signed up for Remind 101. And I told them they get extra credit if a parent or guardian signs up for it as well, because it's just a way, it's like an alert system. If there is a project that is due the next class, or homework that may be due, I'll send out a reminder just saying, hey, don't forget, bring these supplies, or hey, don't forget, tomorrow's your last chance to get your project done or to finish your homework, things like that. And so, and really you can also use it as a way to communicate to me quickly, say, hey, Mr. Dallas, my student left, like, I can't find this or can't access this, what do we do? And I can quickly respond back. But it's just kind of a quick alert system that I think helps parents stay in the loop about what's going on in their kiddos' classes. But the way you can sign up for that is if you just text simply @PLTW 411 to the number 81010. That will get you enrolled in my class, and you'll get signed up for text alerts. But if you'd rather do it through the app, you can also download the app called Remind 101. But let's see here. The last thing, as far as what to do if your student's absent, I told the students this, but as long as I always like to get some parent reinforcement. So if they say that they were absent and they can't do anything about it, you know what to do or what they need to do. So tell them they can log into Canvas, pull up the daily news for that day. The agenda has hyperlinks. So anything that's in the agenda, there's a hyperlink to that, so they have access to the things that we did, as well as you can then pull up my YouTube channel for the recorded lessons, and that's accessible via my homepage. So I'm going to kind of show you real quickly how to do that. So going to the homepage, this is the class homepage. Anything on this computer monitor is a hyperlink to something that we frequently use. And so if you click where it says daily news, that'll send you to the daily news. And then let's say your kid was absent on August 7th, okay? And then you look at the agenda, that gets you to the DET for that day. This would get you to the reflection that they would have to write their answers on and submit. And then that would send them to the page that they would need to answer and post a reply on. So anyways, that's that. And then if you go back, you go to and click on the YouTube icon, that will send you to playlist here. And I have posted all the classes on there. Just find the date that they missed and they can watch the class, and it's as though they were there and they can follow right along. But I hope this helps. Again, I'm looking forward to a wonderful year and a fun year with your kiddos. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Thanks. Take care. Bye.